For decades, the fitness industry has basically sold us all a lie. This idea that you absolutely need heavy iron and a super expensive gym membership to build a serious physique. But today, we're tearing that apart. In this explainer, we're looking at a highly structured, scientifically sound blueprint that proves otherwise. We're going to explore how you can build real, noticeable muscle without ever leaving your house. No gym, no machines, just you. The core thesis of this whole thing is incredibly simple. You don't need a gym to build muscle. You just need resistance. I mean, take a look around the room you're sitting in right now. You probably see a chair, a wall, maybe a heavy backpack, or even just a couple of water bottles, right? Now, you might think that's nothing, but according to our source material, that is literally exactly the resistance your muscles need to grow. It was actually never about the equipment. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The whole muscle blueprint. 2. Upper body muscle builders. 3. Legs and core control. 4. The arm pump finisher. And finally, number 5, the 12-week workout plan. All right, let's dive right into section 1, the home muscle blueprint.
You know the drill, right? Most people try working out at home by doing these random push-ups or frantic ab circuits. There's zero progression, absolutely no plan, and they're really just chasing a burn. But this blueprint, it's completely different. It relies on targeting 3 distinct muscle growth mechanisms: stretch, tempo, and squeeze. We're throwing out arbitrary rep counting entirely and replacing it with actual, targeted mechanical effort.
So the crucial point here is that we need to redefine what resistance actually means. It's not just a perfectly forged dumbbell or a barbell plate. Resistance in this context means leveraging those everyday household items we talked about to create sustained mechanical tension. Listen, your muscles cannot tell whether you're holding a piece of heavy iron or a backpack loaded with old textbooks. All your muscle knows is tension, and we are going to create a whole lot of it. Moving right along to section 2, upper body muscle builders. Okay, so our first mechanism is the stretch, and to achieve this, we use the deficit push-up. See, a regular push-up has a massive flaw. The floor physically stops your chest from getting a deep stretch. The deficit push-up fixes this entirely. By putting your hands on 2 sturdy chairs or just a couple stacks of books, your chest can actually drop below the level of your hands at the bottom of the movement. That deep stretch, that's exactly where the chest muscle grows. You go down for 2 seconds, pause for a full second at the bottom, and then push up. For your first few sets, stop 1 or 2 reps short of failure. But on that final set, you go all the way to absolute true failure. 7. That is the total number of seconds for just 1 single rep of our next exercise, the slow tempo push-up. This trains our second mechanism, which is time under tension. It goes like this: 4 seconds down, a 1-second pause at the bottom, and 2 seconds up. Absolutely no bouncing. And let me tell you, by rep 10, your chest will be on absolute fire because of that sustained mechanical tension. And just like before, take that last set to total failure. To finish off the chest, we hit the third mechanism, the squeeze. We do this using the backpack plate press. So you stand or kneel, hold a heavy backpack flat against your chest. Press it straight out in front of you and squeeze your chest as hard as you can for 1 full second at the top. Most folks completely skip the squeeze, but trust me, this is where the magic happens. Stretch with the deficit, tempo with the slow push-up, and squeeze with the press. Boom, chest is done. Next up, we've got shoulders. Wide shoulders are awesome because they create that incredible illusion of a much smaller waist. We break this down into pressing for size and raising for width. For size, you're doing the pike push-up. Get into a downward dog yoga position, basically an inverted V, and lower your head right between your hands. When that gets too easy, just elevate your feet on a chair to progress towards a full handstand push-up. Now for width, we use the water bottle lateral raise. Grab some heavy water bottles, or hey, even 2 jugs of milk if you're feeling ambitious, and raise your arms parallel to the floor. Side delts respond beautifully to volume, so pushing for 20 to 40 slow, highly controlled reps is going to create real growth here. All right, let's talk about the back. This right here is where almost every single home workout fails completely. If you skip pulling movements, you're asking for round shoulders and neck pain. We fix this with 2 specific moves. First, the backpack row for thickness. Just hinge at the hips and pull a heavily loaded backpack right to your stomach. Both sides are working at once, which literally doubles the load of a single arm row. Second, we have reverse snow angels for posture. Lie face down and slowly sweep your arms from overhead down to your hips. This specifically targets those tiny upper back muscles that hold your shoulder blades together. That intense burn you're going to feel, that is literally your posture muscles waking up after years of being asleep at a desk. Let's jump into section 3, legs and core control. A lot of people think you can't build legs at home without a squat rack, but the real trick to home leg development isn't equipment at all. It's leverage and tempo. You don't need a heavy barbell if you just understand how to use a single leg load, a brutally slow tempo, and an intense isometric burn. So let's look at the specific exercises that make this happen.
For our main builder, we're using the Bulgarian split squat. Elevate your rear foot on a chair. By loading all that work onto just one leg, you've effectively doubled the resistance without adding a single pound of gear. Take that to failure and wow, it is brutal. Next is the tempo squat. It's a standard bodyweight squat, but you go 4 seconds down, hold a 2-second pause, and take 2 seconds to come up. Finally, the wall sit for pure isometric tension. You sit against a wall until your quads are literally screaming at the 45-second mark, and you are physically shaking by 90 seconds. You hold it until you drop. It's pure isometric failure, and yeah, you'll definitely be questioning your life choices on that one. For the core, we are completely upgrading from those useless 100-rep sit-up circuits. True core training is actually about holding tension and controlling your spine and pelvis. First up, the hollow body hold. Keep your lower back flat on the floor and lift your legs and shoulders. This is the foundation for gymnasts for a reason. It's the absolute strongest position your core can hold. Then, the reverse crunch. But here's the secret. You can't just blindly swing your legs. You have to physically curl your pelvis off the ground toward the ceiling. That little pelvis curl is what actually isolates your lower abs. Okay, moving to section 4, the arm pump finisher. Let's talk arms. We start with the backpack curl, which basically acts as your home barbell. Keep your elbows tucked in tight and use a super slow tempo until you hit failure. Next is the backpack overhead triceps extension. See, standard push-ups actually miss the long head of the triceps entirely, but this overhead movement hits it perfectly, which is what gives your arm that true thickness. Finally, we end with a water bottle curl finisher. Grab those bottles and curl as fast as humanly possible with a full range of motion until total, absolute failure. This just floods the muscle with blood, driving a massive pump. And finally, Section 5, the 12-week workout plan. This is where we put it all together. Because look, having the right exercises means absolutely nothing without the right programming. So why do most home workouts fail? Well, it's pretty simple. Most fitness advice out there just takes traditional gym programming and slaps it onto home training. They tell you, hey, work out 3 days a week for 3 sets of 10. But gym training relies on incredibly heavy weights that cause massive muscle damage, which then requires days of recovery. At home, your resistance is inherently lighter, meaning the actual volume of muscle damage is lower. Therefore, to get that exact same growth, you actually have to train with a higher frequency. Let's see how this builds into a real, actionable schedule. We've got 2 options. If you're a beginner, you want to start with a 3-day split for the first month. Push on Monday, pull on Wednesday, legs and abs on Friday. This just builds the habit and gets your work capacity up. But once you adapt to that, you absolutely must graduate to the 5-day growth split. Monday is chest and triceps, Tuesday is back and biceps, Wednesday is legs, Thursday is shoulders and abs, and Friday is totally dedicated to arms. For both splits, you'll be doing 3 to 4 sets per exercise. Now, the absolute biggest mindset shift you have to make is this. You have to stop counting arbitrary reps and start counting true effort. The failure rule here is non-negotiable. For your early sets, stop 1 or 2 reps shy of failure to protect your nervous system. But the final set of every single exercise must be taken to absolute, completely empty the tank failure. Honestly, it doesn't matter if that takes 15 reps or 50 reps. The number isn't the goal, the physical effort is. Rest about 60 to 90 seconds between your sets and just leave it all out there. And this brings us to the ultimate rule. This is the thing that will make or break your next 12 weeks, progression. Think about it. If you do the exact same workout for 2 months straight, your body has absolutely zero reason to grow. Something has to get harder every single week. Add another thick book to your backpack. Slow your squat tempo down by just 1 more second. Squeeze out 1 extra rep. Cut your rest time by 10 seconds. Or just switch up to a harder variation, like elevating your feet for those push-ups. You literally must force the muscle to adapt. Let's wrap this explainer up with this thought. The gym was never the answer. It was always you. You already have the household tools. You now know the science of mechanical tension. And you've got the 12-week programming split. But the biggest takeaway here, your muscles don't possess eyes. They have no idea if you're using a $1,000 piece of commercial gym equipment or a backpack stuffed with old textbooks. They only know tension. And if our bodies are perfectly capable of adapting and building incredible strength just by working against gravity right in our own living rooms, well, it really makes you wonder, what else in our health and fitness journey have we been wildly overcomplicating?